guys, welcome to my channel. My name is Just Jen, and welcome if you're new. If you're not, welcome back. It's good to have you guys here. Today I'm reacting to some George Carlin, and as all you guys already know, number one, it's comedy. Number two, it's all jokes, and he has no filter. You know who George Carlin is. That is one of the greatest of all time comedians, and he's not with us any longer. But like, if you're anything like me, my parents were huge fans of George Carlin, and I firmly believe that he is absolutely one of the greatest because he really didn't care what people thought. He spoke what was on his mind, and he went up on that stage to do one job and one job only, and that was to do his skits, to give us comedy, and that's what he did. He pulled no punches on any subject that he felt that he could make fun of. First, you guys, I want to show you an amazing product that I fully back and I fully stand by, my jersey. Now, I got this customizable jersey, right? And I love customizable things because then nobody in the world, other than me, has this thing, right? And I got it from a company, and I'll pull it up here. You'll see. DIYOJ.com. They offer basketball jerseys, baseball jerseys. Here, let me pull up the menu because I don't want to be wrong. Okay, they have baseball jerseys, football jerseys, basketball, hockey, soccer. They have hoodies, shorts, jackets, pants, shirts, golf, hats, t-shirts. 100% customizable. And if you use my coupon code, which is just Jen, you'll get 10% off. And so I just wanted to show you guys that real quick. It's a perfect gift for people for the holidays. If that very hard to person, the hard person to shop for, this is the right website for you, DIYOJ.com. I'll link it all down in my description of my video and my coupon code. Don't forget to use my coupon code. You guys, men especially, let me pull this up again. Let me pull this up again because I want to show you real quick. Hoodies. How many guys out there are 1, 2, 10 hoodies short because the girls that you're dating, they have to literally snatch a piece of memorabilia, a piece of you. They steal your hoodies. So if you customize a hoodie and keep it away from your girlfriends, they can't take them. I'm just saying, girls, why do we do that? Why do we feel the need to steal our men's hoodies? It's like, it's in our nature, apparently. Go over to DIYOJ.com. Don't forget to use the coupon code JustJen, and you will get a 10% discount. Use it at checkout so they know that you're a friend of Just Jen. All right, you guys, we're doing it. We're doing it. This is George Carlin, pro-life, abortion, and the sanctity of life. Oy vey, already. Jesus, help me on this one. All right, this is for my friend Jason, so enjoy, you guys. And listen, I hold no responsibility for what this man says. I can't control what he says. Make sure the volume's up. Oh boy, something.
Thank you. Thank you. Why is it that most of the people who are against abortion are people you wouldn't want to fuck in the first place, huh?
Okay, so apparently the subtitles are in Italian. I see grazie, 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 and I'm going, oh my God, this is truly meant to be. Now, George Carlin brought up a very good subject. Why are the people that are for abortions, you know, they're not the type that you would genuinely look at and say, oh boy, I want to knock that one up. I really, I can't say that I don't agree with him. I do. I do agree with them. Why? Why are they like the most just ugliest people? And I'm not meaning outside. I mean in here. Why are the people that are so pro-abortion against the death penalty? Ask yourself that question.
Boy, these conservatives are really something, aren't they? They're all in favor of the unborn. They will do anything for the unborn. But once you're born, you're on your own.
Oh, so he was talking about the people that are pro-life or conservatives, but not everybody who believes in pro-life is a conservative. I'm pro-life, and I'm not a conservative. I'm a libertarian, but I believe 100% that a child has a right to live. I believe in abortion if, hear me out, I don't want anybody to attack me. If you do, just keep in mind that people are free thinkers and they are free to have their own voices, their own opinions, okay? We don't attack here on my channel. We don't do that. Especially if somebody has a difference of opinion of yours, that does not give you the right to attack them. All right, so why am I so pro-life? Well, I'm pro-life because I think every child has a right to live. I think the miracle of life is one of the most beautiful things on the planet. Life, babies, they're absolutely our future. We need them. And when people start using abortions for birth control is where I have a problem. And if you believe that abortion should happen, there should be no regulations on them whatsoever, blah blah blah. If you think that and you're against the death penalty, I think your thinking is all screwed up. I just don't like the fact that abortion clinics, they are strategically placed in the inner cities for a reason. And I researched who Margaret Sanger was. Because believe me, I was pro-choice once upon a time ago. All right, I just want to get into that real quick and explain to you guys. Maybe get to know me a little bit better. Sorry.
Pro-life conservatives are obsessed with the fetus from conception to 9 months. After that, they don't want to know about you. They don't want to hear from you. No, nothing. No neonatal care, no daycare, no Head Start, no school lunch, no food stamps, no welfare, no nothing. If you're pre-born, you're fine. If you're preschool, you're fucked. You're fucked. Conservatives don't give a shit about you until you reach military age. Then they think you are just fine, just what they've been looking for. Conservatives want live babies so they can raise them to be dead soldiers. Pro-life.
Wow, so there's a new spin on it. You know, I never thought of it that way. You know, you do have to cost in the factor of living, right? And and I was speaking about like the exception of, you know, when somebody is attacked and, you know, or a child is impregnated, which it does happen, you guys. I think there should be exceptions. If you are a victim, then you definitely should be able to terminate. But he made a good point here. Conservatives, they're pro-life up until you're about 18 years old, and then hey, come on into the military, come on and fight for our country. Now since George has passed away, a lot has changed in this country, a lot, and not for the best. I hate to admit, you know, a lot of people don't give military respect, and that is a problem in my eyes. You know, I don't like war at all. I think it's ugly. I do. I don't see any point in it, and I don't like the fact that our soldiers and the soldiers all around the world fight a politician's war. Now, wouldn't it be great if the politicians were actually pushed onto the field, onto the war field? Let's see how they fight. That'll never happen. And that sucks.
Pro-life. These people aren't pro-life. They're killing doctors. What kind of pro-life is that? What, they'll do anything they can to save a fetus, but if it grows up to be a doctor, they just might have to kill it? They're not pro-life. You know what they are? They're anti-woman. Simple as it gets. Anti-woman. They don't like them. They don't like women.
You know, like, if George Carlin was alive today, what do you think he would say about this whole argument of what is a woman? Because apparently, us women were gatekeepers. We gatekeep menstrual cycles. Believe me, guys, you can have them. We don't like sitting there feeling bloated and hurting, feeling like someone's taking a hot poker to our innards. We don't like that. We're not gatekeeping anything, by the way. You can have it. How about that? How about birthing process? The birthing process, pregnancies, how when your belly is expanding and all of your internal organs are placed up into your chest and you cannot breathe, you want that too? And then when we have to go through labor and the delivery, we're rolling the dice to see whether or not we're going to live or die. Yeah. Does that sound like something you'd like to experience? Because me, myself, and I have been a woman since I was born. I look up to my mother. I looked up to my grandmother and my great-grandmother who went through the Depression, who went through the world wars, right? I look up to them because they're strong women. So I wonder what George Carlin, because clearly he's got a liberal of the past mindset, something that I used to have. I used to think exactly like him in the early 90s, 2000 era. I was a liberal. Absolutely. I just, with the division the way it is today, I can't rock with that. I cannot play part in segregation. I will not play a part in that. I will be a free thinker and I will speak up. All right, let's go back to George, because he's a hoot.
They believe a woman's primary role is to function as a broodmare for the state.
Ay, ay, ay.
Pro-life. You don't see many of these white anti-abortion women volunteering to have any black fetuses transplanted into their uteruses, do you? No, you don't see them adopting a whole lot of crack babies, do you? No, that might be something Christ would do. And you won't see a lot of these pro-life people dousing themselves in kerosene and lighting themselves on fire.
Oh, my God.
Morally committed religious people in South Vietnam knew how to stage a goddamn demonstration, didn't they? Huh?
Oh, boy. He went there all the way. Now, look, like BLM. When BLM first surfaced, I'm thinking, wow, this is a grassroots organization. They're going to do so much for the black community. You know what they did? They didn't do. They didn't take $80 million and sink it into black communities or inner city schools. No. All they preached was Marxism and down with men completely. Not even they said a lot of things about white men. But men in general are seen as this evil entity that's destroying the world, and we are so much better without them. I'm sorry, but I'm old-fashioned, y'all. I believe that there should be a man and a woman household. Now, there is the exception where there's a man and man household or a woman and a woman household, and who cares about that? If somebody is happy, why can't they be? But the whole back to the BLM thing, the leaders got rich and they did nothing for the black community but divide us even more. And it's sad. It really is. Like, I could almost imagine the jokes that George Carlin would. I guarantee you he would flip his mindset if he's seen what was going on today. I guarantee it. And we have to remember what happened in Vietnam, you guys. The veterans that came home. Now, when I see people kneeling at the national anthem, I understand that people think that there's injustice going on. But really, in America, if you're born here, if you live in America, you live in the freest country of them all. Go to China. You want to see what's going on in China today? Or any communist country. Go on over there and see if you can. If you steal something, they're going to chop your damn hand off. If you are smuggling drugs, you're going to go to prison for about 9 years, even if you have a weed pen, because that's a communist country. You know, and people who fought in the Vietnam War came home and were not welcomed home. People spit on them, and let me tell you something. They were drafted. A lot of people were drafted. My father volunteered to go. He volunteered to fight for his country, and he served 2 tours. So when I see people kneeling down in a national anthem, it makes me want to spit on them. Because our veterans is exactly why we have the freedoms that we do today. All right, back to George.
Hey! They knew how to put on a fucking protest. Light yourself on fire! Come on, you moral crusaders, let's see a little smoke.
No, thank you.
To match that fire in your belly.
Oh, my God.
Here's another question I have. How come when it's us, it's an abortion, and when it's a chicken, it's an omelet?
Yeah! I want to know. I want to know why. If it's, if it's a human being, it's okay. But if it's a chicken, PETA's all over it. He makes a great point there. I'm just going to say that. He makes a really great point. I'm just saying. Hey.
What? Are we so much better than chickens all of a sudden? When did this happen, that we passed chickens in goodness? Name 6 ways we're better than chickens. See, nobody can do it. You know why? Because chickens are decent people.
That's right.
You don't see chickens hanging around in drug gangs, do you?
Nope.
No, you don't see a chicken strapping some guy to a chair and hooking up his nuts to a car battery, do you?
No.
When's the last chicken you heard about came home from work and beat the shit out of his hen, huh?
Never.
Doesn't happen, because chickens are decent people. But let's get back to this abortion shit. Now, is a fetus a human being?
All right, I'm going to stop here and say absolutely. It is don't tell me that it's a cluster of cells, because literally when sperm meets egg and women have to be the ones to carry the babies. I'm sorry, guys. We're not gatekeeping again. It is what it is. It's simple biology. It's autonomy and physiology. Okay? So, egg and sperm meet. A spark of life actually happens. Yes, they are cells that clump together and form a fetus, which is a what? A fetus of a what? Say it with me, class. Human. It's a fetus of a human. It's a baby. And then the baby is in utero and grows and grows and grows until one day it's born. And it takes its first breath of life. And while in utero, the baby can respond to sound, light, objects. No, the baby won't turn into a golf ball, guys. I'm just saying. Protected by a cervix. That's a baby inside. And the miracle of birth, that's a miracle of life. It's a beautiful thing. And as soon as we have our children, it's love at first sight. And all the while they're in utero, you're worrying about them. What are they going to look like? Who are they going to take after? Are they going to have any developmental issues? Are they going to have any disabilities? We're constantly worrying as mothers. So I just wanted to put that out there that, yes, I don't care what you believe in. If you have a difference of opinion, that's fine. That's fine. You're allowed. You're entitled to that. But also, I'm entitled to mine. Just saying. All right, George, let's see.
Seems to be the central question. Well, if a fetus is a human being, how come the census doesn't count them? If a fetus is a human being, how come when there's a miscarriage, they don't have a funeral? If a fetus is a human being, how come people say we have 2 children and 1 on the way, instead of saying we have 3 children? People say life begins at conception. I say life began about 1 billion years ago, and it's a continuous process. Continuous, just keeps rolling along. Rolling along. I say, you know something? Listen, you can go back further than that. What about the carbon atoms? Huh? Human life could not exist without carbon. So is it just possible that maybe we shouldn't be burning all this coal? Just looking for a little consistency here in these anti-abortion arguments. See, the really hardcore people will tell you life begins at fertilization. Fertilization when the sperm fertilizes the egg.
Well, I think I just did that. And I have my reasons, you guys. I have my reasons. I don't know if I'm ready to talk about those reasons just yet, but stay tuned. You never know. You never know. You never know.
Which is usually a few moments after the man says, "Gee, honey, I was going to pull out, but the phone rang and it startled me."
Oh, dear God. Stop it.
But even after the egg is fertilized, it's still 6 or 7 days before it reaches the uterus and pregnancy begins. And not every egg makes it that far. 80% of a woman's fertilized eggs are rinsed and flushed out of her body once a month during those delightful few days she has.
Oh, yes, delightful few days. Need I remind you that the menstruation cycle of a woman sucks. It sucks. I can't tell you how many articles of clothing that I've ruined, how much money I've had to spend on feminine hygiene products. It sucks. You don't want no part of that. Believe me, if you are a biological male, you are lucky. Your voices deepen and you grow body hair and facial hair. Wow. And guess what? That's it. That's it. We have to deal with this from adolescence, prepubescence, or after during puberty, all the way until we hit menopause. Does that sound like we're gatekeeping, or does that sound like we're fucked? We get the short end of the stick, ladies, don't we? Yes, we do. Our bodies get ravaged after birth. We keep plastic surgeons in boom. Their businesses are booming because of unrealistic body expectations of these photoshopped celebrities and movie stars. I'm just an influencers out there that you better love the skin you're in. I'm just going to say that right now. You were made the way you were supposed to be made. Do we learn throughout life? Yes, learning and life is a learning curve. It's a learning process. And we develop, sometimes we don't develop and find who we actually are until later in life. But you better love who you are. You better love who you are. That's all I'm going to say. People are constantly being told that they're not good enough and they have to live up to these celebrities and unrealistic expectations. They're all photoshopped, guys. That's Photoshop. They don't look that good in real life. I'm just saying. And that's why, if you look at the Kardashians, they will flip out, sue, if somebody posts an undoctored picture of them. That's not somebody we should look up to. I'm just saying. Okay, then. Back to the show. Jeez, please. Help us.
They wind up on sanitary napkins, and yet they are fertilized eggs. So basically what these anti-abortion people are telling us is that any woman who's had more than one period is a serial killer.
Get out of here.
Consistency. Consistency. Hey. If they really want to get serious, what about all the sperm that are wasted when the state executes a condemned man and one of these pro-life guys who's watching comes in his pants, huh? Here's a guy standing over there with his jockey shorts full of little Vinnies and Debbies, and nobody's saying a word to that guy. Not every ejaculation deserves a name.
Ew.
Now, speaking of consistency, Catholics, which I was until I reached the age of reason. Catholics.
I take it George was not an altar boy. Or he was. I don't know. Listen, I grew up Roman Catholic, so I don't have anything to say about religion. I don't. If you want to worship a frog, I don't care.
Catholics and other Christians are against abortions, and they're against homosexuals.
Yeah,
well, who has less abortions than homosexuals?
Right?
Leave these fucking people alone, for Christ's sakes.
Yes. Thank you, George. Let them be gay. Let them be whatever they want to. As long as they're not touching kids, what do we care? What is that going to hurt me if some man marries another man or a woman marries another woman? What does that matter? It doesn't. And it shouldn't matter to you either. People are going to love who they love. See, me, I should have went gay a long time ago because all I'd ever dated was bitches anyways. I'm just saying. Back to you, George.
Here is an entire class of people guaranteed never to have an abortion.
Yes!
And
Great!
the Catholics and Christians are just tossing them aside. You'd think they'd make natural allies.
Right.
Go look for consistency in religion. And speaking of my friends, the Catholics, when John Cardinal O'Connor of New York and some of these other cardinals and bishops have experienced their first pregnancies and their first labor pains and they've raised a couple of children on a minimum wage, then I'll be glad to hear what they have to say about abortion.
You know, I think he's got a damn point. But still, I'm going to be pro-life no matter what because I love my children, man. And in the very first second I laid eyes on them, I fell in love, head over heels, would die for them. You know, no matter if you're pro-life or pro-choice, you better know that people are going to have differences of opinions. And they are entitled to theirs just as much as you are entitled to yours. All right? I love all kids, man. I want to protect them all. I wish I could. I wish I could. I wish I could, but I can't. And that sucks. And people do horrendous things to children. But I bring up that he makes a good point because being a parent, once you are a parent, your life as you once knew it as a single person is gone. It's gone because your number one job is to raise that baby and make sure they survive and make sure that they turn into upstanding, good moral having people. Good people. And it's not cheap. Oh my God, is it expensive. Like, even having birth in a hospital, my bill was $48,000 just for one. My first one was over $90,000 because we had to stay in the hospital for 8 days because he was in the NICU and everything. That ain't including all of the diapers for 3 years. Well, my first son was potty trained at like a year old. He was super, he's just intelligent beyond his means. But the food, the clothing, the educations, it's not cheap, man. It's not cheap. Being a parent is hard work. But what, if you put in the hard work, your reward is what? You're going to have a reward. I just have a problem with people using abortions as birth control. Like, come on, man.
Sure, it'll be interesting. Enlightening, too. But, in the meantime, what they ought to be doing is telling these priests who took a vow of chastity to keep their hands off the altar boys.
Yeah.
Keep your hands to yourself.
Thank
Father.
you. That's gross.
When Jesus said, "Suffer the little children, come unto me," that's not what he was talking about.
Yeah. How did that get misconstrued? I will never know. And the church protecting those priests. I don't like that.
So you know what I tell these anti-abortion people? I say, hey, if you think a fetus is more important than a woman, try getting a fetus to wash the shit stains out of your underwear. For no pay and no pension. I tell them, think of an abortion as term limits. That's all it is. Biological term limits. But you know, the longer you listen to this abortion debate, the more you hear this phrase, sanctity of life. You've heard that, sanctity of life. You believe in it? Personally, I think it's a bunch of shit. Well, I mean, life is sacred? Who said so? God? Hey, if you read history, you realize that God is one of the leading causes of death.
Look, I don't care, believe what you want to believe, but I have my own beliefs. I'm going to stick to them. I have good, strong morals and values today, and yeah, I don't care what he says. He could say whatever he wants to. I'm not going to be mean to him. I'm not going to attack him. I can't. He's no longer here. What am I going to do? Yell at a computer screen? Oh, George, I'm going to cancel you. He's dead. It don't get no more canceled than that. Back to George.
Has been for thousands of years. Hindus, Muslims, Jews, Christians, all taking turns killing each other because God told them it was a good idea. The sword of God, the blood of the Lamb, vengeance is mine. Millions of dead motherfuckers. Millions of dead motherfuckers, all because they gave the wrong answer to the God question. You believe in God? No. Dead.
Could you imagine? Could you imagine that? Could you imagine saying, I don't believe in God, and you're done, you're executed, you're vaporized off the planet? Damn. Like, this is why I love living in America. I do. I love being an American because, like, anymore, it's a free-for-all. Like, I don't commit crimes, dude. I just don't. I don't even speed in my car, for crying out loud. All of my friends make fun of me for the way I drive as a granny. Gas prices the way they are, you're going to be driving like a granny too, right? I have kids to raise. I got one in college, man. I can't afford to be a speed demon. I can't afford to get tickets. I don't want to commit crimes. I don't like to go to jail. Jails suck. Jails freaking suck. You know, but imagine you're in a country like, I forget what the guy's name is. I forgot what his name is, but he was an American and he goes to like North Korea, right? Or it wasn't South, I think it's North Korea. Yeah, North Korea. And he rips a movie poster down in a lobby of a hotel. Dude gets a life sentence. Man, America, wake up. You got it easy. As the fuck. We got it easy.
You believe in God? Yes. You believe in my God? No. Boom, dead. My God has a bigger dick than your God.
Going there.
Thousands of years, and all the best wars too, the bloodiest, most brutal wars fought, all based on religious hatred, which is fine with me. Hey, anytime a bunch of holy people want to kill each other, I'm a happy guy. But don't be giving me all this shit about the sanctity of life. I mean, even if there were such a thing, I don't think it's something you can blame on God. Now, you know where the sanctity of life came from? We made it up. You know why? Because we're alive. Self-interest.
That's a good point.
Living people have a strong interest in promoting the idea that somehow life is sacred. You don't see Abbott and Costello running around talking about this shit, do you? We're not hearing a whole lot from Mussolini on the subject. What's the latest from JFK? Not a goddamn thing. Because JFK, Mussolini, and Abbott and Costello are fucking dead.
Poor George. Poor George. George Carlin, most definitely. Let me know in the comments section, would George Carlin today be canceled? 100% I could put money on it that he would be canceled. But you know what he would say? That's what he would do. That's what he would do. Because he loves free speech. And it's a shame that people, you know, you can speak your mind. And you should. You should be able to. Especially if you're an American. You have that beautiful First Amendment right to free speech. But don't get it twisted. Don't think that just because it's free speech that you could spew hatred, because that's wrong. That's where that fine line is crossed from all different sources online. I happen to think social media and the internet has ruined interpersonal communication between people. It has ruined children. TikTok, people are doing TikTok challenges, kids, and they're dying, eating Tide Pods, doing all kinds. I think you should be 18 years old to be on TikTok, but you have to be 13. They're targeting kids. Tell me what you guys think down below. Do you agree with me? If you don't, it's okay. I'm not going to sit there and argue with you. If you want to go all keyboard warrior and troll me, go for it. I'm not going to play a part in it. If it gets really hateful, I'm going to block you from my channel and never see your name again. That's just how easy I can cancel people out. But when people want to express their opinions, I'm fine with it. But once they get hateful, nope, no bueno here. All right.
They're fucking dead. And dead people give less than a shit about the sanctity of life. Only living people care about it, so the whole thing grows out of a completely biased point of view. It's a self-serving, man-made bullshit story. It's one of these things we tell ourselves so we'll feel noble. Life is sacred. Makes you feel noble. But let me ask you this. If everything that ever lived is dead, and everything alive is going to die, where does the sacred part come in? I'm having trouble with that. Because, I mean, even with the stuff we preach about the sanctity of life, we don't practice it. We don't practice it. Look at what we kill. Mosquitoes and flies, because they're pests. Lions and tigers, because it's fun. Chickens and pigs, because we're hungry. Pheasants and quails, because it's fun. And we're hungry. And people, we kill people, because they're pests. And it's fun.
I don't think we get to kill people because it's fun, but I would wonder what he thinks about the crime rates today. Like, people are killing each other at a rapid rate. Even people disguised as your friends are killing their own friends. It's bad, man. It's bad. I wonder what he would think about today. If George Carlin was alive today, what he would be like, what the fuck are all of you guys doing? What are you guys doing? Wake up. And I think the sanctity of life, me personally, when I look into a human being's eyes and I see the life sparkling behind it. I look at my children and I just think, you're the greatest freaking thing on the planet. And our ability to love, right? We have that ability to love. Human beings suck, but they're also awesome.
And you might have noticed something else. The sanctity of life doesn't seem to apply to cancer cells, does it? You rarely see a bumper sticker that says, save the tumors. Or I break for advanced melanoma. Viruses, mold, mildew, maggots, fungus, weeds, E. coli bacteria, the crabs.
The crabs.
Nothing sacred about those things. So at best, the sanctity of life is kind of a selective thing. We get to choose which forms of life we feel are sacred, and we get to kill the rest. Pretty neat deal, huh? You know how we got it? We made the whole fucking thing up.
Damn, now that kind of made sense to me a little bit. But I still have my strong morals, my strong values, and it is what it is. Again, you guys, you don't have to agree with me on everything. In fact, I would hope that you don't, because I have my own individual thought process. I am my own individual human being, and I have my own opinions and beliefs. But I will never stand here and sit down and allow somebody to attack me because we have a difference of opinion. And that is what's so crazy about the world today. We are divided. We're more divided now than we have ever been. Martin Luther King Jr. right now is rolling over in his grave going, what did I do? My whole life's work down the toilet. Really, think about it for a minute. And the politicians, the mainstream media has done a beautiful job in driving that wedge between us all. And if you're going to sit there and allow it to happen, I'm sorry. You should stand up against that. You should stand up, stand firm, and unite, because united we stand, divided we fall. All right, guys, that does it for me. Jason, thank you for requesting this. You're amazing. I love George Carlin no matter what. If you would like to see more comedy reactions like this, make sure you're subscribed. Make sure you check out DIYOJ.com for your lovely hoodie, or not hoodie, hoodies, t-shirts, everything. It's all on their website, completely customizable, perfect for them. Really hard people to shop for. And ladies, if you are the one stealing your man's hoodie, you better buy him a new one. Go to DIYOJ.com, put in promo code JustJen, and you'll get a 10% off discount. All right, guys, that does it for me. I'm Just Jen. Take care of yourselves. Bye-bye.